Alrighty, good evening, everybody. I know we're starting a little late. Allyson and I were having a really interesting conversation backstage, and we're like, oh, look what time it is. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. It's another Friday night. We got 10 people in the chat.
Hi, everybody.
We have a nice little surprise for y'all tonight. So, let's say hi first to Magus. Hello, Magus. Welcome, welcome. And we have Miss Nan. Oh, here we go. Miss Nancy. Hello, my dear. We have Ange, Roots and Waves. Hello, hello. Let's see. I know that everyone's saying hello. There's Isadora. Hello, Isadora. And Emily is here. Hello, Emily. And let's move down a little bit because I know everyone's saying hello to each other. There's Lindsay. Hello, Lindsay. And Moira is here. Hello, Moira.
Hi, Moira.
And yes, Friday, I'm in love. There we go. We got the cure. So anyone playing, Indigo Jaguar Bingo, mark your box for the 80s music. So let's see. Lindsay, thank you. She just subbed to Allyson. So thank you, Lindsay.
Maybe I'll actually post something.
It's been a while since Allyson posted something, but
I might this weekend, y'all. Sorry, honey, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Dina is here. Yeah. If you subscribe to Allyson, when she is able to upload videos, she does really good readings on the signs and their placements. So keep an eye open for that. So in our thumbnail, it said that we were going to be doing mini readings. We might, but Heather got this idea the other day, and I was like, Allyson, because especially with it being, Halloween season, and I've been wanting to do more paranormal or oracle readings. And as I'm saying that, Carolyn Booker pops in. Hi, Carolyn. Love to you and Peter. Oh, yeah, you can do that little thing with your, I can't. No, it's not working for you.
Nope, it's not. Oh, well, that's all right. Big hearts.
Thanks, Dina. And I said, do you want to read on a location? Because I've been watching a lot of paranormal shows. And I asked Alice if there was anything in Michigan that she was aware of that she wanted to read on, and she really couldn't find anything. So I said, well, we got plenty around here. I mean, we've been on a lot of TV shows over the years. And apparently,
Niagara Falls has a lot of ghost stuff.
Yes. And back in 2011, ghost hunters actually came and investigated a place called the Rapids Theater. And now everybody knows how I talk about, Niagara Falls has really gone downhill economically, business-wise, neighborhoods, everything. But this one theater is still going. They still get big names like, let's see, who they recently had was Five Finger Punch. Disturbed's played there. I have listed here, Morrissey has played there. The Stone Temple Pilots, Snoop Dogg has been there. Dropkick Murphys. So it is still bringing in, and I know that Garbage was here too last year. So it still brings in big names. If y'all want to Google the Rapids Theater, the pictures of the place inside are gorgeous. I have my little Wikipedia right here. Let me just pull up the picture. And so during one of the concerts, this is how the picture that they use. But it's a huge venue, just absolutely beautiful. It's tapping into the history and the architecture of what the falls in this area used to be like. I mean, we were one of the crown jewels here in Buffalo, and then over the years, we all know what happens. Hey, Chris. So Chris is Ghost Squad Scotland Network tarot reading. So good to see you, Chris. Thanks for popping in. So I said to Allyson, do you want to read on this place? And she said, sure. I have Prime, so I was able to watch the episode of when Ghost Hunters was here. And this is going back 2011. So this was really before the paranormal investigations really started picking up and before more of the technology to do the investigations. And just say here, specifically Niagara on the Lake, Allyson, very haunted. My husband's side of the family are from the falls. Canada side, and they ran a bed and breakfast for many years. So
there are so many taking of one's life that happens there every single year, like just all the time. So yeah, it's just super haunted. Yeah.
And what people, remember, because of where we are situated, this area was, for the English and the American fighting for independence. You had the forts here. You had the Canadian joining the Native American. I mean, between all the wars, there's just been so much bloodshed in the area, which is probably why when you come into the falls, even though the falls itself is beautiful, the city is just
kind of succumbed
to this energy and the negativity. And, a lot of people are fighting to keep the area afloat and try to bring it back. But it's a bit of a struggle. So the Rapids Theater is an indoor concert venue that was actually built in 1921. Let me just move up here a little bit so that I can get, it was known as
what was that original name again? Sorry, honey, and then I won't say anything else.
It opened up as the Bellevue Theater in 1921. And over the years, it has been several other places. It was a discotheque at one point. Here, let me just pull this up here. Yep, originally constructed under the name of the Bellevue Theater in 1921. It opened as a movie theater and vaudeville stage, complete with a grand balcony and dome ceiling. So it was reopened, was purchased and reopened in 2009 as the Rapids Theater. And so I'm just looking. So the Three Stooges have performed there. Radio Orpheum Theater Company was there. The Harmony Shop Sheet. So there's all different places in that area that was there, or a family-run pharmacy and whatnot. So it used to be, between Buffalo, Niagara Falls, Rochester. This was the area. If your plays, if your musicals, if anything, anything that you did that was theater, if it was successful here, then you would be good and successful in New York City. A lot of that has changed now, but this was once a real beautiful treasure trove. Let's see. So I'm looking to see if they mention any of the other names briefly in here, but they're starting to mention the other places around here. So yeah, they're talking about Shays now and everything. That's also in Buffalo. But yeah, the original was called the Bellevue. It is now the Rapids. And I was watching the Ghost Hunters because I do have Prime membership, and that's how I was able to watch it without having to buy it. And there are a couple things I wanted to have Allyson and I pull on. And they do talk about, and this is something I want to address. And I'm just looking to make sure I haven't missed any comments that. So Moira says, Ange, my sister lives in Niagara Falls on Canada. Okay, so I grew up near NOTL, considered Canada's most haunted town. So yeah, so one of the things I noticed, and I haven't really, I've noticed some of it's gotten better. People are trying to be a little bit more, hopefully, respectable when it comes to investigating. Some do, some don't. But I noticed that during this show, that there was a woman that took her life there. That's the story. There was supposed to be an actress. They're not listing her name here, and I
couldn't find any information on it.
But they kept referring during the whole investigation. Well, this is the room where that woman hung herself. This is where she hung herself. And I'm just like, can we have some respect? This is a place where the woman took her life. She hung herself, yes, but I've just noticed how even in the beginning that people there was like no respect for the deceased, and that just kind of and Shan even was starting to notice that, and he goes, yeah, I don't like, now that we're looking back, we're seeing now, and he's like, yeah, hopefully this is changing. So Carolyn, I don't know if you have any thoughts or feelings on that, but I really hope moving forward that a lot more paranormal investigators will maybe stop using the word hunting, because for me, you're not, these are human beings. You're not hunting them like they're animals. These were people. Investigating, finding out what happened to them. Hello, Miss Tarot D. You're also watching RuPaul. Have fun. Who can compete with RuPaul, right? So hopefully, you know, I mean, at some point in my life, I would like to start an investigative group. But I know the way I would do it, it would be much more respectful than how I see some of these TV shows and places, So that's just something that I want to get off of my chest. So Allison's like, yeah, let's read on it. And I was thinking we could pull cards on finding out. Now, if you watch that episode, I did get, you know, evidence of hearing, shoes click. So some of the what they hear is people whistling. They'll be working in the theater. And now this is 2011, so this is like 12 years old. And I was actually, we went to the park today and we drove right by it. And I tried getting out of my car and opening the doors, trying to see if I can get in and tell the gentleman, hey, I'm doing a show tonight. We want to investigate, with tarot cards. Can I just take a few pictures of the inside? But there was nobody available at the box office to be able to let me in. Hey, Tom, thanks for popping in. I see some. Yep, there you go. Miss Tarot D has priorities. So some of the, what's the word? The claims is, seeing a woman and seeing shadow figures. They're hearing like a woman sing. They hear conversations. There sounds like there's heels walking across the stage floor. But I was going to address to see if there is truth to a woman, an actress. The story is the woman hung herself. She took her life, unfortunately, after she found out that her husband, who was at war, had died during the war. And that was the catalyst of her taking her life at the location. So I wanted to see if Allyson, I can pull some cards to see, if there's any truth to the story. And I know that there's somebody that whistles. They caught some of that on their EVPs. Maybe pull a few cards, see if we can figure out who's doing the whistles, and see what other energies or information that the cards might pull up, or any questions that Allyson may want to think of asking us, or anybody in chat that we could maybe ask. Because I really haven't watched a lot of shows or looked for videos on this place. I actually almost participated in an investigation there a few years back, just before COVID hit, because I was starting to meet people in the area that did that. But there was a fee and I just couldn't afford it at the time. So this will be my way of maybe doing my investigation. So I'm just going to close the phone now so that I don't get distracted with any of the information. And just looking to see if there are any comments. I don't know if you know, Tom has joined us. And so thank you, Ange. So she says, check some pics and info about the theater. So I just got chills looking at these pictures. The building's gorgeous. It really is. That turn of the century architecture. So she's asking Moira if she's ever had any experience in paranormal. Moira says no. And she's like, I'm too scared. And Carolyn, I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. And Allyson, I look forward to you joining us again on another Friday night soon. And let's see. Everyone's saying hello to each other. She still performs. Carolyn's picking up on her. So she says she still performs. So Carolyn, then you believe that there's an actual spirit of the actress there. Nice. So we can pull some cards and find out, maybe find out why she did. So Carolyn, Emily, I don't know, sweetie, if we're going to do readings tonight. Allyson and I want to kind of focus on this for now. Maybe if we have time at the end, we might pull a few cards. I don't know, but we wanted to do something fun and different tonight.
I'm wondering if Carolyn has a first name of that young lady.
Yeah, Carolyn, can you pick up on a name for her?
Or maybe we could pick something to call her if Carolyn doesn't know. That would be helpful to me anyways, but
I'm curious to see if there is any truth to this. I pulled out a couple decks. I got my my Tarot of the Haunted House, a deck that I typically use for investigations. I was going to use my true crime, but I didn't know if there was actually a crime with her passing. And when I pulled a card, it was like, nope, that's not the case. This was her death, at least according to the energy I received from my investigative true crime deck. There wasn't. So if this is a true story, and I think Carolyn's picking up on it that she is. Just kind of maybe find out what happened to her. See if she has a message. If she took, because the story is that she lost her husband at war, and when she got the news, it just destroyed her so much that's the reason. So
really?
mm-hmm.
Okay, see, I didn't even know that much, and I just had 3 cards fall out together, which could fall along with because what I asked is, what can you tell me about these supposed hauntings or the supposed hauntings that goes on there?
Carolyn says she believes it begins with an M. So we'll call her Miss M.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn.
All right, I'm going to call her Mary because as soon as she said that, I was like, Mary. But that's just me in my mind. I won't necessarily say it out loud. I do think it's true. How true and when and what the reasoning and all that. I do think somebody did. Yeah, I do think that a female did what is said that she did there. I do think so. There might be others as well.
So this is interesting. The cards that just came out of this deck. So I followed along. I was thinking about Miss M. Hello, Earl. Thank you for being here. And I got the Ace of Pentacles, which is, new beginnings, communication study, but just someone very grounded, very earthy. It just felt like this opportunity was being handed to her at this location for her to be able to start her career, to start her down her path. And then the next card I got was the Nine of Swords, sadness and despair. According to the story, when she found out her husband had been killed overseas, that's what drove her to taking her life, unfortunately. And so I can see the pain, the grief, the nights of being able to sleep, just the torment. And I feel like she's, in a way, she's still tormented. I don't know if this is residual energy, because the next card I did get was the Queen of Cups, and she's got angel wings on. And this feels very ethereal. This feels like, the story goes, this is the pain, and that she became an angel. She crossed over. She was very nurturing, compassionate. And then when I wanted to see what the underlying energy, I did get the Ten of Wands, which of course that felt the burdens. Her grief, her sadness was too much of a burden for her to be able to withstand all of that. And back then, a woman on her own, especially a widow, there was probably a lot of oppression, a lot of a fear of what was going to become of her, because women pretty much didn't have any rights back, especially at the turn of the century like that. Even in it was built in 1921. Don't quite have a date, but that time frame. And another card flipped out when I was asking about the ace, the Ace of Pentacles, because here it was like she was being handed this beautiful opportunity of growth and being able to have her career and moving forward. And then she gets the news. Well, then I also got the Five of Pentacles, excuse me. So there goes. There's the isolation, the feeling of being alone, the feeling of being isolated. I'm not going to have enough to be able to sustain me financially. How am I going to live? How am I going to survive? And I feel that's what led to her passing. I don't have any cards showing how she did it, but I do feel like that was a part of her passing. I don't know if Allison's got anything she wants to share.
I got some cards here. As you know, I don't like to really know about something when I read on something, but I do, and so I'm just kind of it is helping me to interpret this a little bit. So I guess that is one upside to kind of know what's going on. I do think that she had some sort of plan in place. This is with her partner. And then everything went to hell in a handbasket. I do think that something happened, probably whatever happened with him or the relationship. Again, we don't really know. And then the Tower comes in, and the clarifier that I got on the Tower is the King of Swords. She shows up as the Queen of Swords later in this reading. So this would be her partner, I would think. And after that Tower, she really did try to pull it together with the Two of Pentacles here. She wasn't able to do it. I think she might have put on a strong face, or maybe she continued acting or whatever she was doing in this theater. I have the Seven of Swords. And then I have the Eight of Swords. She just couldn't do it, right? She couldn't get away from whatever happened, whatever took place. Eight of Swords is like a mental prison, as you hear a lot of people saying. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. And then here she is. And I didn't get a clarifier on this, but as soon as I saw this Queen of Swords, is she's decided. I basically heard it. She's decided. She's decided what she's going to do. The next card, and again, I keep getting the Hierophant and reading it different ways, which is so cool and interesting. Clarifier on it, Nine of Cups. She's going to make her own happiness because she didn't want to be here anymore. She didn't want to be here. And I got the Three of Wands. This is moving forward with the plan that she has. And the clarifier on that, Page of Pentacles, she had a plan of how she was going to go ahead and do this. And I got the Three of Cups on it, which is, it's a celebration. It's a happiness, which feels very morbid. But I don't think if I'm interpreting that, there's no regret here about anything. And at the bottom of the deck, I had the Two of Cups, the Hangman, and the Chariot, right? This is seeing her relationship differently, moving on from it. Two of Cups, Hangman, the Chariot, in that order on the bottom of the deck. And again, there's no real way to read on this kind of stuff. You can only interpret what's coming out, but that's very interesting to me. I really wish we could know more about this person that supposedly existed. What year did this happen? Yes, what her name is, but like, why do we? So again, it's just kind of spotty, but I do find it's interesting what cards came out versus what we already know. So.
Okay. So Anne just going ahead now, and she's going to jump in and pull cards. And she says she's going to use her Cult of Weimar tarot. And Tom's like, getting serious now if Ange wants in. Well, Tom, you can always join in too. And she said, I shuffled and asked if there was a woman who hung herself backstage of the Rapids Theater after hearing of her husband passing away at war, and I pulled the Death card. Oh, wow. Actually, that's a good question.
And you could take that several different ways. That could be a yes or a no.
A physical death, yes, but then when we die, it's a rebirth because you're going into a new life too. I'm going to pull some from I'm going to tickle Norman and see what I get. A little Viviani and Christina joined us, and I saw Audra.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It feels true, though.
Mm-hmm.
The details.
The book came up again.
I don't like the fact that there's no information at all on this lady. A name, a year, nothing. That's the part that makes me think that it could kind of, maybe it didn't really happen.
Well, they did catch people, but during the investigations, there is a shadow figure that they see moving around. There is somebody that whistles. So I think there might be multiple spirits there.
Energy or spirits there, but that could be from the land. It could be, it could be from all kinds of stuff. And I'm just being devil's advocate. I'm just saying, if somebody takes their life in a theater, all stuff is to some degree recorded, even if it's just handed down. But like, there's not even a year. This took it place as a business. It's just, it seems that there would be at least something. That's the part that makes me kind of go,
And Lindsay says there's so many haunted theaters. Yes, there's a lot.
There are.
I don't think there is any place that's not haunted or has spirit activity moving through. Now,
and it's interesting because people that are actors are dramatic, right? They're dramatic actors. They're emotionally feeling people. So it's not surprising that, this is not surprising.
Oh, this is interesting. So, wow. Okay. It's interesting because I was getting like, this is kind of confusing. So I put the cards back and I started shuffling from two different decks and the same cards are coming up. So this is very interesting. So the first card that flew right out, here's the woman. There's the, I'm using my lunatic Lenormand. I did get the stork, and the stork is about, fertility. It's about coming to nest. Usually they're a good sign of abundance because, people like, so for me, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to go on the limb here because I know just because it's a stork and it represents fertility, I'm trying not to assume, but it's possible that maybe she may have been pregnant too, for all we know. The stork does represent fertility. I know it doesn't necessarily mean this, but back then too, there were a lot of times when women, after losing husbands or, having, had gotten pregnant without being in a marriage, for them, they knew that was going to be a shame to them, to their family.
Hold on a second. Not being in a marriage. I thought it was her husband that died.
No, I'm just using it as an example. Back in the day with women, when they would, take their life, it's because, if they weren't married or, if a husband, like in this case, if they had passed, then she would be alone with the child. Different things mess with people's minds. I mean, everybody has, their own their own psyche and how they handle trauma and anxiety and grief. But I did get the stork, and the next card is interesting. I got the anchor. So this coming in, this messaging with the storks. I see the stork as like a messenger too, because they're birds. But the anchor makes me wonder, and I know anchor is about being grounded and needing to be grounded, but I'm just wondering if this might represent the Navy. I don't know if her husband, they mentioned he was in, I believe in the story that he was in one of the wars. He was a serviceman. It didn't state which branch, but I'm curious to wonder if it might be the Navy, because I did get the anchor. Or this is saying that the story is anchored in truth. I did get the birds again. I did get the raven. And so this is about birds' messages, yes, but also communication. It was communicated to her. I did get the book, and the book can be like of secrets. I don't know if she left a journal or if she had a diary that she was writing in, or this is representing some sort of documentation that came in. The one thing that was interesting, though, I did get the bouquet, and the bouquet is about abundance, fertility, success. So I'm not quite sure how that works into the reading just yet. I pulled another card and I got a messenger. And so the message could have been her receiving the message that her lover or her husband had passed. The flowers, though, flowers have been used to represent funerary too as well. But I'm just going to set those aside. I pull from my Wisdom of the Night Oracle. And with the Luna to Norman, this came out too. I forgot to mention under her, I got the key. So I feel this is an actual story. She is the key to, the main one to what's going on at the theater. But I know that there is other spirits there. And I did get individual, and these cards came back out again. I got individuality. And it's interesting because she was an actress, a singer, and there's a beautiful bird. I'm thinking it might be a canary, I'm not sure, but there's a beautiful bird right there. She was individual. Listening. She says people are hearing her, people are listening to her, they can hear her. I also got the card risk. Now the risk is showing someone ready to fall off the precipice. And for me to put this kindly, when people go to hang themselves, to take their life, they'll stand on something, push something off for, to be able to do it. And for me, when I saw this, it felt like she had given up. She was falling over. She was, I got the wishing card. And of course, this could be her wishing that, her husband had died, or wishing that she, didn't have to live with this pain. This is, her just kind of wishing if things could have been different. And I also got the rigid again. And this makes me feel like Allyson's card, where it was like, nope, this was, I think she said the Queen of Swords, where it's like, nope, this is what I had decided to do. You're not going to change my mind. I'm no longer on the fence, and this is what I'm going to do. I am going to take a look at the chat. Hello, Elizabeth. Thank you for being here. I know, let's see. So Ange got, let's make sure. I asked the cards to show me some details about who this woman was. What was she like? I pulled the Queen of Cups, which Ange is what I pulled from the Tarot of the Haunted House, Queen of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. Now, Allyson usually mutes the volume so she doesn't hear me talking and affect her concentration. So Ange, I'm going to star that for Allyson. Lots of queens coming up in your readings. So Ange said she got the Queen of Cups, which I had gotten. You said you got the Queen of Swords. She got the Queen of Pentacles. So we got some more queens here. There's that strong female energy. And she also got the Wheel of Fortune. Because she asked, show me some details about who the woman was that had passed. And that's what she got. Hey, Karen.
Do you want me to talk about my cards right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or do you want to wait? Okay.
No,
so, so I asked about what happened with her. So the energy that covers her, again, here we go. King of Swords. Once again, her husband, man, whatever, he's showing up as the King of Swords. He might have been an air sign, maybe, I don't know, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but that's how he's coming up. The issue was him. What happened with her was about him. So this is so sad. What crosses her is everything that was so good and important to her, right? Everything they had built together, Nine of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands came out with that as well. I'm taking that like as a clarifier, and it's almost, the way I'm reading this is like almost a refusal to accept what has happened. So sad. I really do think it's quite possible that this, some variation of what we've heard is what happened. So before all this stuff went down, Five of Wands, for me, this is very much her in conflict again with what happened. And then in her recent past, and again, where the timeline is when this took place, I have the King of Pentacles. So I feel like this is her stance. I mean, it could be some other layer of seeing her partner that crossed. It could be relating to their relationship and where they were financially standing. I thought about getting into clarifiers, and then I still can. I jumped forward because I wanted to talk about this spread. So actually I'll get a clarifier on this, because I don't know if this is her or if it's him exactly, but it's that energy of the King of Pentacles, which is all about, you know, responsibility and the house and the money and the funds and the security and taking care and being grounded and all that kind of stuff. That could be her energy or his energy. This was in the recent past. She lost this. I only did uprights. This probably would have come out reversed if I was doing, you know, a mixed deck. The crowning energy, which is the potential, is the moon, right? This is all, I'm taking this as mind effery. That's absolutely, and I don't often read I'm reading this as lunacy right now. I think this whole loss of him tipped her over the edge. If she was an actress, sorry, I'm just going to say this. A lot of actresses are very dramatic, very emotional, very, not necessarily in a bad way. There's actually a lot of the same types of signs that become actresses, and it's because you are in touch and because you can dig deep and all this kind of stuff. So it's interesting. You have something really, really, really goes sideways. A lot of people that are like that do snap. And I think that very well could be what that was. And that's just coming to me. Doesn't mean that I'm right. The incoming, or that was the crowning energy, the incoming energy. The sun, we're not reading this in a happy way. This is her finally looking at what the hell happened and accepting it. She went from the moon to the sun, right? And the moon could also be not wanting to look at it, not wanting to deal with it. It could be lunacy. It could be a little bit of both, whatever. That was the crowning energy. And then here she is with the incoming with the sun. And it came out with the Chariot. That's her figuring out what the hell to do. She's going to move forward. And her solution, we know what her solution was. Right? She can't deal with it. It's too much. In the Self position, she's a Knight of Pentacles, making her plan, how she's going to do this, where, when, where, blah, blah, whatever. I don't think she had kids, you guys. I don't think she was a mother. I don't. Was she pregnant? I have no idea, but I don't think she was a mother. Self position, or I'm sorry, no, the house position, I have the Lovers. Right? So this is how people see you, the people in your surroundings, your environment, friends, family, you know, coworkers, blah, 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 whatever, other actors, this, that, and whatever. They could have saw her as being very devoted to her partner. It could have been her making a decision, you know, of whatever they thought she was doing. But regardless, that Lover's energy. And it's clarified again by a king, the King of Wands, which again, I'm thinking these kings are her. The King of Swords in the heart of the spread is her about her husband. But I think she did try to stay strong, or she put on a strong front. That's that King energy showing up in the recent past. And then it's showing up here again in the house. King of Wands is very action oriented, moves forward, makes plans, doesn't take any BS, looks good, you know, da 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 da. She probably still kept up appearances and that kind of thing. And again, this is in the house position. Hopes and fears. I think she wanted things to be okay. I have the Empress here, which can be a pregnancy card, but this is in the hopes and the fears. I think she was hoping to move forward. Maybe things would work out, maybe whatever, I don't know. Or this could be the fear. Let's say maybe she was pregnant. I'm not being pulled intuitively anyway, so I'm just gonna, just read what these things could mean. I love it when I'm being pulled, but I'm not always, and I'm not being pulled right now. So let's say this could be the fear. I got 2 cards that came out for the hopes and fears. This is not a clarifier. And I got the 8 of Swords, which is never going to be a hope, right? That's going to be a fear. Her brain just couldn't stop talking. Now, maybe both of these are fears. her brain is just going and going and going, and she can't get away from it. Maybe she was pregnant. Maybe she couldn't leave, her, all of it's just going and going and going. Think of what the Empress card is. It's fruition, it's growth, it's abundance, all of that. What if that's these came out together talking about her thoughts just getting bigger and worse, and just it's just taking on a life of its own. Again, got the moon energy in her crowning energy. I think she was off her rocker. And who doesn't go off their rocker when their lover or husband or whatever, especially if if she was pregnant, you've got all that stuff pumping through you. I don't know. We don't know. That's the whole thing. We're just speculating as best we can. The outcome, this is so sad, you guys. I have the High Priestess, and the outcome, crowning energy and the outcome are almost always, there's a correlation between those two cards. Those of you that know Celtic Cross know this. High Priestess in the outcome, right? Secrecy, knowledge, inner knowing, higher, intuition, all that kind of stuff clarified by the Ten of Swords. She's gutted, man. She's done. It's the worst. These came out together. This is the outcome. Yeah. That's what I got.
Oh, I wish I had room here on my table right now for Celtic. So I'm looking, everyone's saying, coming in. Viviani has joined us. They're all saying hello, talking about other interlocutions. And Ange just said, because I pulled some cards too, I asked her if there was an involvement with another man, not her husband. And I got 8 of Swords. I asked if she was assaulted, and got the Devil and Justice. Interesting, because I pulled the Justice card too. See, I didn't pull on that because there was just, not enough information, but that Justice card, that might, I went ahead and pulled from 3 other decks, asking again for Lady M to give me insight. And first card I got was Justice. And for me too, it's about balance. And as I'm looking at this, it's kind of like, this is the beginning. This is kind of, eventually what happened. So I did get the Ace of Pentacles again for her from a different deck. And with Vixen, nothing really different there, but just, again, a new career path, abundance. This was, new beginnings for her. There were things that manifesting a career. I mean, I think in the beginning, there was this beautiful balance. I got the 10 of Pentacles. This was, this was her dream to have the finances, to have the happy home, to have the financial security. And again, I also, like in my Haunted Tarot deck, and Angela, like you, and I think Allyson got her as well, or was it? I'm not sure, but I know Ange got the Queen of Cups. I got the Queen of Cups again. And so the Queen of Cups too, very compassionate, but very emotional. And it feels like here, this is in the middle of my spread. So this is kind of like where the turning point, the 7 of Wands, feeling like having to stand her ground, feeling like everything's coming at her. And to me, the wands doesn't have to be a physical, assault from people, like words or something, but it could also be mental, what we say. It could be a swords, but she was just really having to stand her ground, feeling like everything was coming at her, just kind of like standing there, feeling like she had to defend herself. Again, this could very well be maybe connecting in with what Ange, I want to pull cards on that too for myself and see what, if there may have been, and there's no judgment to, if anyone's watching, there's just no judgment. She's in spirit. A lot of times women, when their men went to war, not knowing, they were lonely, and vice versa. Sometimes they find, compassion, they find emotional refuge, with another person in the interim. That could very well have happened But after the Seven of Wands, with all of this coming at her, feeling like she had to stand her ground and trying to balance herself and hold her position, I did get the Six of Swords, which makes me feel there's when the transition came, where she knew she was going, things changed, things weren't going to be the same anymore, and just had to face that. I pulled a couple more cards. I did get the World card, which is a cycle of things coming to an end, things coming to a fruition. And when I asked for another one, I got the Death card. So I do believe the death was by her own hand. Um, from the haunted house, Allyson was pulling out that Knight of Pentacles, and I looked at the deck and I'm like, yeah, I got the Knight of Pentacles too. This was looking at something. This was taking steps, planning something, looking at everything from a different angle. Usually the Knights of Pentacles are laid back. They're very calm and relaxed. But I think here at this point in time, I did get the Eight of Pentacles. So this was planning. This was devising. This was crafting, an idea. And then I did get the Five of Swords. So there is that mental defeat. There's that bullying that's going on, maybe, her feeling judged. But again, you know, just that mental exhaustion, the thoughts going through her head. She may have been bullying herself. What are you going to do? Da 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 da. I know that can get very overpowering. And the other card I got was the Nine of Cups, and here's a man. So this could very well have. I mean, this could be maybe somebody, you know, on the side, or this could have been the husband. And this was, having it all, having the cups and everything. But if you kind of look at his face, he doesn't look like the nicest guy. Um, but I'm going to set those cards aside and share. And I know, Nancy, you put that in there. I'll share your cards in a second. And from my not my ethereal, from my Daily, I got the Ace of Cups, and I think this is going along with what Allyson pulled, with her just mentally losing it, the emotions, because I did get the Ace of Cups, and usually Ace of Cups is new beginnings, new flowings with love and emotion. Yes, that could have been how it was in the beginning, but this could have also been her emotions just overflowing, just unable to control them, because the next card I got was the Nine of Swords, again, from a different deck. So it became traumatic for her. She couldn't sleep, the nightmares, the sense of desperation, the anxiety, the sense of cruelty. I got
Yeah.
the Five of Cups, deep depression, deep sadness, total regret. And I got the King of Cups. So here's the cups again. And this could have been her husband. And her, he was my world. He was what I was emotionally tied to. Um, because the Kings are usually that stability, that the grounding of that element of emotions, being in touch with emotions and being grounded in the emotions. So at this point, I think she felt like she lost that, too, with him emotionally. And that's what I have, from the three decks that I just pulled from. And let me just put this back here. I have too many decks out for crying out loud. There we go. Allyson, Nancy pulled some cards. Hey, Jay. I'm trying to go up here to find where Nancy. Oh, Nancy, where did you go? So there's backtracking here. There's there's Allyson. I was just going by what Carolyn was sharing. So Carolyn must have shared something. I'm sorry, Carolyn. I'll try to go back and see it. 10:01. She was just way down in burden. So Nancy I got the Queen of Swords for her, and her state of mind, the Eight of Swords. The energy before the death of her husband was the Ten of Cups, the happiness, the joy, the anticipation. And she says Ten of Cups flew out for her, and it's a couple smiling, standing by a gramophone. I think that's how her and her husband now holding each other. But Carolyn, I'm going to see if I can go back up and find your comment. Chat might have jumped up too high. I know I saw you mentioning hello to Care Bear. Okay, so Carolyn, try not to put that word into chat. So I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to put it up. So the man who sexually assaulted or assaulted her stands in the gallery. So Carolyn feels that there was a man who assaulted her, physically assaulted her. Um, in the place. So if you want, Allyson, we can pull cards a little later on. And hello, Jay. And Nancy says, state of mind, 3 of swords. Not the, she says 3 of swords, not the 8 of swords. Okay, Nancy. Yeah, he looks smug with the dark, so that could be. And Nancy's using her Tarot de Louis.
So, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. I just want to make sure I caught up with chat.
Yeah, I just want to say before I pick this Celtic cross up and then I can throw some other stuff. This is tarot. Cards can be interpreted a bunch of different ways, and you know what you're reading on and where the placements are and this and that, whatever. So taking into consideration what Ange said, I went back and I looked at some of it and I tried pulling some clarifiers. There's I don't see any kind of an attack. However, I do see the possibility, again, because there's so many different ways you can read stuff, right? Which is why it's always helpful when you get a feeling or you really connect with the reading and then you kind of know which way to go. And other times you're just reading the cards, right? Which is what I'm doing right now. I'm not feeling a big connection with this, but I know how to interpret all this stuff. So I do feel or see that there could be somebody else involved, but I don't see any kind of, and it doesn't mean that there wasn't, just in what I pulled and the further clarifiers that I pulled, I don't see any kind of like violation against her or any kind of attack or anything like that. But there is, like I said, in the heart of the spread, I see him, and or the husband is coming up as the King of Swords. And then I did have the King of Pentacles coming up in the recent past. That is her, because the clarifier I got on it is the Queen of Swords, which is her. But in the house position, this King of Wands with the Lovers, you could read it that, because that the house position is how you're being seen. She could have been being seen as having a lover, and it was a fire sign male or somebody who acts like a fire sign, right? That'd be another way to read that. So that could be another man. People knew about it. People were talking. That could put you into the High Priestess and the outcome energy for sure. What you know, what's the truth that you know, and what the hell it's doing to you, Ten of Swords, right? So yeah, I mean, there is a couple different, and then hopes and fears. Fear, what if that did happen and she was impregnated, but her husband's gone and whatever, people are gossiping, you know, whatever. It could be, right? And then the crowning energy, the moon, right? She could have been flipping the hell out about that. So again, there's lots of different ways, right? Often, not always, when I read, if I'm really connecting, I can tell you exactly what it is. But like right now, it's like I'm not really, so I'm just kind of interpreting. You can, I'll stop because I'm just repeating myself. So anyways, very interesting. And again, I can see some of that here in my spread, but I don't see any kind of violation or cruel act or anything like that.
So I pulled a few cards, and that's interesting. I pulled from my ear ethereal, and I asked, if she can give me if there was a hint if there was of an assault of some kind. I didn't see the card. I got the Justice card, but to me, I still feel that there was a fairness. There was a balance that there wasn't there. But when I asked if there was possibly a relationship with another individual, the card that came right out was the Lover's card. So it's very well possible that there was somebody, and like Ange had said, sometimes when the husband is away, she was vulnerable in a way that a man might have taken advantage.
Yeah.
She goes, I did get, that devil based on that. So whether it was an actual assault, I don't know.
Was he supposedly gone at war?
Yeah.
And what year did this take place? What war was going on?
I don't even have a date for that.
No, but the place opened when in 1921?
1921. So I would assume it would probably have been around maybe World War II. If it was open in 21, World War I was already done and over with. So what that might have been. I don't know if it. Well, I'll have to research more after the show to see if I can find if they had, Christina says she was lonely and feels sadness around her. She feels sadness around her. And Fatima goes, what strange topic. I just got home from a funeral home. Oh my goodness, Fatima. That's right. Fatima's lost, I think, another more people in her circle. I'm sorry about that, Fatima. So Jason says World War One, but well, actually, maybe I don't know how long World War One went to. I know that was 1917. I don't know, can't remember how long World War War. It might have. And Karen says the moon is my period card too. What if she missed her period in that crowning position, Allyson? That's just something that Karen put out there. Oh, she doesn't. I'll save your comment for her, for you, Karen. So I did get the Lover's card. I did get the Eight of Cups, having to walk away, move away from that, or emotionally distant. Then I did get the Seven of Cups. There were so many decisions, choices, delusions, having to choose. What do I do? Not sure what to do. I did get the Ace of Wands, new beginnings. I don't know. This could maybe have been someone that came in. I'm not quite sure what the Ace of Wands, but then I did get the Four of Cups. There was that sense of detachment, apathy, unfulfilled. And that could be, okay, so that could be what the Ace of Wands is. Maybe she might have met somebody, or someone might put her in her circle and felt that, this might have been something new for her. And of course, I too got the Moon card. So there are some secrecies going on. It could be, well, what followed this card next is the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is, again, like Allyson said, being someone in charge of house and home and money and security.
Wow.
This could be husband energy. I got the Chariot, moving forward. I also got the Eight of Wands, things happening really fast. And then I got the Nine of Pentacles, which would represent, independence or financial independence. But yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of the same cards. And Karen wanted to share something with us. And I thought you might find this interesting. And Ange got the Eight of Cups too. Karen said for her, when she does her readings, the moon is my period card for women, menstruation card. What if she missed her period in that crowning position, Allyson? That's just something she wanted to share with you, with your position, with your spread.
Asked if she was pregnant, and I got the Ten of Swords.
Oh.
For me, that's a yes. And I asked, okay, whose pregnancy was this? Meaning, where did she get pregnant by? I got the Seven of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. So this is somebody she was invested in, involved with, that she was sweet on, and or had history with, or had known a long time, or whatever. So maybe she was actually in love with two people, which does happen. It happened back then, probably more legitimately than it does now, because, well, I'll save my own personal opinions on what people do these days. And then I think she was trying to figure out what the hell to do when the Tower came in. I think she was torn, and then she probably had so much guilt and felt so bad. And I asked something about the guy, and now I can't remember what it was, but I got Temperance, her trying to come into balance. And the guy that I was saying could be, remember I had the Lovers with the King of Wands. He could be a Sagittarius. It's possible, because this is the card of Sagittarius. Okay. I give up at this point. There was somebody else involved. I'm going to go ahead and just say that. I don't think she was attacked, though. I think she had a straight up, I'm going to say, loving relationship. I think there was a third party. If I had to guess. Again, we're just doing what we're doing here, but yeah.
And Ange says, I pulled the moon card too. I asked if she did take her life, what led her to that? 7 of Swords, betrayal, magician, and the moon.
Right. That's her and her dirty little secrets and the mess that she created and all of the torment of that and yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
And
yep. Can you imagine? This is in the 20s at some point, most likely. The effery of that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
If this is, I mean, whatever.
If this is
for entertainment purposes
only, yes. And Karen said, I just thought moon is period with that high priestess and outcome and empress, which would have been mother energy and hopes and fears. I see how you relate.
I think she was pregnant.
Karen.
I think she was pregnant.
Well done, Karen.
I see the moon as pregnancy often, just pregnancy, or not often, it can. So either one, the moon or the empress, either one.
Yeah. I pulled again and I did get the Knight of Cups. I think that she was 6 of Swords, Knight of Cups, being drawn to this Knight of Cups, this knight in shining armor kind of deal. But with the 7 of Wands, having to defend herself and stand her ground. So, and there's the Justice card again.
I got Judgment. Her casting judgment on herself. This is done. Yeah. That's what happened. Yeah. I do think so. Yep.
And
the order and all that, I don't know, but I think there was a third party. She had tremendous guilt. Her husband somehow ended up dead. She was pregnant, most likely, felt really bad about it, couldn't deal with it. I don't know what happened with the other guy. I'm curious about that. Also, something else that came up. I don't know what it was. I think he was married. This other guy, I think he was married and had a family. They were having like an affair, like maybe they had been sweethearts and then went different directions and both got married or something like that. And then I think that might be what happened. I just got the whole, could be.
And Ange says, I asked, was she having an affair, and then felt guilty when she heard of her husband passing. I got the Judgment and the Hermit. So she got the Judgment card too.
Right. So yeah, you're going to totally retreat and everything else, but you're going to, oh my God, the karmic guilt of that Judgment. Yes.
Yeah. 8 of Swords. Yeah. And the Fool. Yeah. She felt the Fool. Sometimes you're literally the Fool. So we are at 9 o'clock. Now there's a report about somebody in there whistling. People will, and they even caught it on video where they'll just hear like a couple seconds of, I can't whistle, people, so I'm not even going to attempt it. But doing a small whistling. Do we want to pull cards just to see if, who that might be? Or do you want to just kind of like...
I already got a feeling about that. Is Carolyn still here?
I do not know. I haven't seen her. So Carolyn, if you're here, Allyson has a question for you. And
Carolyn, I feel like that's a farmer or somebody that used to work the land or that passes through, something like that. I do not think that's this girl whistling.
No. It's separate because they can hear, they think that the shoes that they hear on the stage is her, but they have caught in a conversation where there's like 2 men's voices, and then there's another one where you'll be somewhere and people will hear a whistling. And Carolyn says yes. So Carolyn, I don't know if you're saying yes to the farmer or if you are still here.
The whistling's a man, and I feel like it's like a worker or like a outside person. Yeah, Carolyn, who are you saying yes to?
And Nancy said, I got the Judgment card after I pulled the King of Wands and the Devil for the guy in the balcony. Oh, the guy in the balcony. Well, it's interesting because people have seen things on the balcony. So I'm just going to pull cards on who. So Carolyn, do you have a feeling of who is whistling. Allyson thinks it's the farmer. And Karen
Farmer,
says,
worker, somebody on the
worker.
land, like maybe even before, or like somebody who just works on the land, worked on the land either before or after I don't know. It's a man that's just there, like just kind of working and whatever.
The whistle was a dock worker. And technically that's actually because there's the gorge just right
Like I said,
nearby.
somebody's outside, they're just working and whatever. Yeah, that is so cool. I love that.
The Hierophant. I asked who was the whistling. I got the Hierophant, which is either tradition, wisdom, or an institution. I got the Six of Swords, water going across, and I got the Page of Pentacles. Somebody maybe working, studying, working with their hands, and then the Knight. So it's quite possible. Let's see.
See, and the way I would interpret that was somebody who was somewhat spiritual, younger man, and the Six of Swords. I don't know, maybe he was trying to do something new with his life, or was starting out with something new when he met his demise. Who knows? Anyways, I'm gonna pull cards on the whistling and see what I get.
And the Hierophant?
What?
How did you interpret the Hierophant?
Spirituality.
So him in spirit, but not spiritual.
No, like he was a spiritual person. He feels lighthearted. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel negative. It doesn't, that's what I would make of it. And that is what it felt like. Like I got you get like a quick, just like it's not even an image, it's an impression. Like when you said the whistling, and that's what I got. It instantly felt male. It felt not like an old man. I'm going to say more middle-aged. I don't know for sure. But here, let me pull on the whistling and see what I got.
Ange says she got the Hierophant too when I asked about the whistling.
Nice.
I'm looking at them literally, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, religion, a priest. No, this is a dock worker, not a priest or a person of spirit. And so so I got to learn how to reinterpret intuitively too with my cards. So thanks. I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning. And let's see. Carolyn, let me star your comments so I can share that with Allyson. So the whistling. You can tell me about the person that has heard the whistling. So for the man whistling, I got the Queen of Cups. So again, there's the emotional, there's the water. I'd say that it's a female. Well, it could be, but this is somebody who is very emotionally intuitive, nurturing, kind, compassionate. I did get the Five of Pentacles for the person whistling. And if he was like a dock worker or this being by water, this shows, someone just drowning in their emotions and drowning in financial, maybe debt, or feeling isolated or alone, but just feeling like being pulled down. He could very well have passed away from a drowning. I did get the Fool card. This person is very mischievous and likes to play with people, and that might be why he likes to do the whistling. And the overall energy is that he's like a hermit. He just kind of likes to keep to himself. Why he's still there, I'm not sure, but I want to know what Allyson's laughing about.
Okay. I think this was somebody, and if you're still here, Carolyn, I'm just curious. So I realized he was like a dock worker, but I'm assuming I got the emperor here that he was like probably more like a even if he was young, and I feel like he was young-ish. I'm wondering if he was more like a supervisor type position, or like kind of had like younger like lads working for him, or whatever it was, because I have the emperor here, which for me, the way I read, male. That's just the way I read, right? The empress is female, the emperor is male, period. That's just how I read it. I got 3 of Wands, so he was, taking action on whatever his plan was or whatever. And again, we're here at water, you guys. This is a big old ship right on the water. Another water card here. We got the Chariot, which is him moving forward, like with this new position after whatever he had dealt with. Again, this is a water card. This is a sign of Cancer. And then I get the King of Cups. Water, 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 water. Every single one of these cards is water. So it's clear, it's confirming what Karen was saying about the water I'm going to take. But it was also a water sign, more than likely, probably a Cancer. Aries is here though, and I'm not asking for signs anyways. I'm just saying I think that that's interesting. But we have the Emperor and 3 water cards. And I did not do a spread. I was just doing face value cards. I have 4 of them. So he is a walkthrough. Thank you. Who loves the theater. He wanted to go on the stage. Thank you, Carolyn. That's exactly what I felt. Not about the theater. That totally makes sense, but about him being a walkthrough. I love that. Thank you.
Yep. They say they still hear him, and that, sometimes the managers will be at the desk and they'll be right up there. And he'll does that whistle. And, he goes, sometimes that's like, I'm afraid to turn around and look to see who's there, because he comes right up to the guy, and I get it, because I did get the Fool. They're mischievous. So he loves to be mischievous. I got a Cups too. I got a Queen of Cups, but that's still, he might have been a very kind, compassionate.
Same type of energy. It feels very lighthearted, good-natured.
But then I did get the 5 of Pentacles, and this is a woman drowning in water. So for me, this might have been at some point, he might have drowned. Maybe that's how he passed, because of being a dock worker and being by water. Or this could have also just been, financially maybe having some problems or issues. But I'm feeling like that's more of like for me, it's more like a drowning in this situation. And of course, after that, I got the playful little ferret, and then I got the Hermit, which is, wanting to be, isolated and within themselves. And,
oh my God.
What? You just pulled the Hermit?
I just asked how he died, and I got the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, and you had just pulled the 5 of Pentacles, what you were talking about. And look where this is. This is in the water. These are all
validation.
Ghosts, and they're all standing there. Yeah, and it was in reverse. It came out in reverse, but it's the 5 of Pentacles, and which is, it's lack, it's loss, it can be death, especially in the reverse. But it's a poverty mentality, but it's like, it's total destruction too, or it can be if it's in the reverse. So anyways, yeah.
And Ange said, I asked, as the high heel shoes walking across the stage, the same woman that, hung herself, that took her life there, I got the Knight of Swords, which literally shows a woman standing outside a theater in high heels.
Yeah, and the Knight of Swords, that's like boom, right to the point, truth. That's a yes in my book.
You got to come join Allyson and I for some I want to do more of these Tarot oracles. I love these. And right next to that is the Death card.
Yeah,
she said afterwards. So
pairing those together, for me, yes. Again, you interpret it the way you want to interpret it. That's another thing I want to say. Your cards, to me, this is my opinion, you interpret it. Other people can throw in their opinions too, but like what you think it means is more likely, in my opinion, to be what it actually means, right? And it's always interesting to hear other people's opinions and throw it out there, especially, well, actually, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, it's always interesting. But
Very,
yeah, to me, cards are, if especially if you're not doing spreads, and I pretty much always do spreads, but when you don't and you just asking some and having some things come out, it's what they come with, what they're next to is how I read. That's where, yeah. Mm-hmm.
well, Karen, if you like para oracles, you can join me and you can join Allyson. I would love to do more of these.
It is fun.
I find joy in this. I know true crime can get heavy, and I still would love to do them here and there with Jackie, but I want to do, and I know Allyson has talked about wanting to maybe do some turn of the century crime too at some point, and maybe
I'm gonna do some
overlapping
old stuff.
and looking into, and while doing the true crime, pull cards to say, are there hauntings connected to now to this location, so that we can kind of pair that up. But yeah, I like doing that. He is a very
There
kind
is so
soul.
many unsolved things.
Oh, and then he got swept away. He slept on the shore.
Oh, see, and yes, okay, wow. Oh my God, can you imagine?
So I don't like the true crime stuff because I don't like to tap into that. I got you, girl. I
Right,
understand.
exactly. And the old stuff is so old, and a lot of it is more like it's more like mystery. Also the trauma for those of them that are the energy is lifted. It's like it's been cleared in a way. So to me, yeah. I visited
Oh,
the Birdcage Theater in Tombstone.
that
You should
is
have me, Karen, and Bobby on to do the Birdcage Theater paranormal.
yes, 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 yes. There was actually now, if I remember correctly, Ange, when the Ghost Adventures crew went to investigate that, I believe it was that bar, there was an older man that they interviewed that was connected, that worked there and knew the history. I think it was a few years after they did that show, somebody actually came into that saloon and murdered him. I think that's the same place. I'm not quite sure because there's just been so much violence down, especially, near the border. A lot of, the cowboys back in the day, and even now with the smuggling and the borders not really being secured enough, that a lot of people are still getting
Oh,
trafficked
it's
through. Some people
horrible.
are still coming through. So yeah. I say Bobby. That's right, because Bobby lives near Tombstone. Yes. Oh, that would be so cool, Ange. Let's arrange that. I wonder if he would want to. Yeah, I gotta make a list of people who would be interested in these shows. Allyson can let me know what she would be interested in, and I can throw it out there. Heather, this is the deck I'm using for Theodral. So, yeah,
I'm using the Ghost Tarot right now.
So, Ange, if you can send that to me on WhatsApp, I'll be able to click onto that. That's so cool. I'll be interested in looking into that. So we are at 9:23. We've heard the men's voices. There's probably still spirits there that what I would like to know is why she is still there. Can we pull cards on why she hasn't crossed over? Do you think it might
Sure,
be because of
it's
the
probably
guilt?
just hasn't been enough time. I mean, they're probably be coming to snatch her up here pretty quick. It's been about 100 years. But yeah, sure.
Because one of my
Not that
pet
they do
peeves.
time and all of that, but I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot of places that have had hauntings of people, you know.
Because what's sad is that a lot of these places, and there's one that's not far from me, where I had asked the lady who ran the asylum that she owns now, if when I met her at a convention, a psychic fair, I asked her if any mediums or psychics had been through to help, the main spirits trying to move on, and she got looked really upset with me, and she goes, "No one messes with my spirits," and she walked away from me. So there are some people who don't really want to bring people in to help. Maybe I know some people want to stay there, some spirits want to stay there. I get that, but there are a lot of places where people don't want to bring in mediums to help, either mediums witches or
I think that's
shamans,
the exception.
where they don't want to be able to move them on because they like to keep the income, to keep the place haunted so they can keep making money off of
Yeah, yeah.
it. I mean, it's real,
It is, but there's not a lot of places. Well, actually, I could be wrong about that. There's probably more than I realize that, like, do you know how many haunted places there are that they're just haunted? They're not being treated as an attraction. And then that's also a great way to not make money. You're trying to charge money and then you have people coming through and then nothing happens. That kind of, it's not some big money making, also your idea of making a lot of money and somebody else's idea of making a lot of money can be vastly different.
Because I know there was one place, I think it was called Wolf Manor. GAC went there at one time to investigate. And then later on, they brought Amy Allen in with the Dead Files with Steve when the show was still going. And she went through the whole walkthrough, found out who was there and who to bring in to help move them on so that, they could be, so they could be moved on. And it wasn't until the reveal or just before that the owner ended up saying, well, we're not going to remove them because this is our business now, this is our livelihood. And they chose not to get the people to come in to help these spirits move on. And this manor had housed people with mental health. There were people who were insane, severe mental health, and atrocities that went on there. And Amy said could have been moved on. And after them coming in, it was just like, why did you have her come in? They just basically wanted to know, who was there. And they refused, the owner refused to bring in the people that Amy suggested to help these spirits move on. And that just made me so angry. That broke my heart. So there are some people who do have the option and the know-how to help these poor spirits cross over to the other side. And they choose not to because they don't want to lose their place as a
do we know that she's even still there? I'm going to pull from a different deck, but to me it's looking like she's not even there. When's the last time they really did anything there?
I don't know, I'll have to check. But Ange says, I asked if her spirit is stuck in the theater and I got the Chariot, so she likes to just visit.
Okay, so it's like she just visits. So again, here we go. To me, that would be no, she's gone. She moved on. For me, the Chariot is moving on after having gone through strife, which being earthbound is definitely strife. I would take it she's gone. And the cards that I just pulled, but again, I was pulling from a deck that I made. So thanks, Ange. All right, let me pull on it and see what I get.
And Karen says I should make my own pair of oracle cards too. That would be cool.
Do it. Your own cards will work for you very well.
There you go. And Karen, same here. There was Amy and Steve went to Medina. So if you want to see Medina, which is about, I think, maybe 20 minutes from me, maybe 20 minutes, no more than half an hour, there was a house that they investigated before. I think it was like 3 years ago. But yeah. Now, what I got about, is she still, still there? I got the Two of Pentacles. So I feel like it could be very well back and forth. I did get the Six of Cups, which is about nostalgia. And then I got the Seven of Pentacles. So it feels like, I don't know if it's that she keeps thinking about it and hasn't decided yet because of the nostalgia about being attracted to the place, being connected to it emotionally. But with this Seven of Pentacles, waiting for something to grow, waiting for something to change, she's got the key. So I feel like this could very well be she's got the key to come and go as she pleases, or she's got the key to finally move on when she is no longer emotionally connected or attached to and stops kind of going back and forth. So That's interesting. No, wait a minute. Let me look at the bottom of the deck. No, that's not the bottom of the deck, but maybe I'm supposed to see that. I got the Harpy and I got the Sun. I think I was supposed to open those two up at the same time. So it's a back and forth. It's a balancing, whether or not she wants to or she hasn't. She likes to come and go because of this nostalgia, and she has the key to do that, or she hasn't. She bounces back and forth, not sure if she wants to move on. And there's the emotional attachment, the nostalgia to the place, but she holds the key to be able to do it. But I did get the Page of Swords, so she has the ability to move forward, and the Sun with the success. So I think she can come and go, and I think she just comes back every now and then. Maybe when people are there and they talk about her story and they bring her, maybe that brings her back to the building when people talk about her story. They tap so much into her energy that maybe this back and forth is when, people do their investigations and they bring it up, and that pulls her, back to that location. That's very possible. And Carolyn did say something. She is a stone wall. She has moved on, but is still seen. I don't understand Carolyn. She is a stone wall. She has moved on, but is still seen. So do you mean she's residual? That it's like her energy is like in the stone, and it's like on a replay, like playback? I think that might be what I'm thinking. She's more than residual. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like she comes back and forth, because especially when people do investigations. What you got, Allyson?
I asked if she was still haunting the place, is she earthbound? And I got a definite no. No, she's gone. I got and I did a 5-card spread. I got 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, the Magician, 8 of Cups, Ace of Swords. So that's plain as day. And then I got at the bottom of the deck, I got the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, Ace of Cups. So that's her having decided to move forward. And she did this for herself. I think she realized, I always, personally, not always, but most of the time, often I read the Ace of Cups as self-love. So again, my interpretation. Yeah.
Stone holds
energy. And I don't not think she very well may come in, or maybe I don't know what Stonewall is, but like her earthbound spirit is not earthbound. It is not hanging out, being there. It's not whatever it was.
So I like how Ange put it. I don't think she haunts the theater. I think she's part of the theater energetically, and her spirit does visit periodically. That is what, that's what I was trying to say. So when they say about
it's like when you go to my mom's house, her energy's there.
Yeah. Because when they talk about residual, because of stone being able to hold memory, walls being able to hold memory, woods and things, so that when events happen, they get absorbed, into the location. So there's the residual, but I do believe she comes back and forth with the 2 of Pentacles, So, and I love it. I mean, she's got the key right there. So she's got the key to come back and forth to visit when she wants to. So, wow, this was fun.
Like a regular spirit does.
Yeah. But otherwise, her energy still stays there, and people probably still pick up on that. Yes, it's her energy signature. Yes, Karen. All righty. Hello, Sharon. Thank you, my dear. Were there any other questions you wanted to ask about the place with the cards, or are you good?
I can't think of anything unless you guys have something very interesting. See, and then I always wonder, it's like, okay, how accurate is all that? Mm-hmm. I wish there was a way, and then we could go,
But it's fascinating when a lot of us get the same cards.
What is it called? Where you fact check. I wish there was a way to go fact check.
So we're at 9:34. did we want to end the show with a collective, or
Sure.
for like the coming? Well, we got the coming weekend, so a collective message for the weekend. I hope everybody. Oh, here we go. Ange, wait a minute. Well, Ange suggested one more card pull for the place. I don't know if you want to do it. But but she says, "What is the overall energy of the Rapids Theater?" Or do you think we pretty much covered it?
Oh,
It's up
I
to
don't
you.
mind. Sure.
Okay.
It's changed hands so many times. I can't
Mhm.
even imagine. It's very cool. I think it's so
Oh my gosh,
sad when that happens with buildings.
she pulled the
Um,
death card.
and I was reading uh some of the well, Heather sent me something initially this morning, and then I went and looked at some other stuff, and then she said so I don't remember where in there that I read all this. I think it was from the original, which I don't think was it Wikipedia. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it was Wikipedia.
But anyways, the original, when it was first built, and now I can't remember what the hell, the building where this place is, because there was like several businesses when it was original,
Mm-hmm.
and the Bellevue Theater, and next door was a sheet music store, which I thought was so cute. And then on the other side, and now I want to say it was a pharmacy, because I forgot for a minute, and now I just that was just dropped in my head. So I'll go back and look, but I'm pretty sure that that's right, that there was a pharmacy there.
And you know what? A business is next to it now, and I'm glad that they were able to reopen after shutdown. Is a bookstore, and there's like 3 floors to this old building, and he takes in books. He sells old books. He sells new books. We had ordered some DVDs from there once. He had a couple of store kitties, and we thought he was closed for good. And when I stopped by to take that picture of the Rapids today, of the theater, he was so happy to see that he's still open. And so there's an old building, 3 floors, basement, middle floor, and upstairs, where they have all books. And when you walk in, you can smell the old books. It's an awesome place. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people from the Rapids come over and visit, and vice versa. So
what was the question again? We were pulling out what is the energy of the
overall
now
energy.
Rapids Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Ange got death.
I'm sure it's been death how many times? Like 6. I'm sure. Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Rebirth.
It dies and then it's reborn. It dies and it's reborn. It's happened repeatedly. Yeah.
I want to see what Jeremy says about the Knight of Wands. Passion. I like this. So what I got was the Knight of Wands. And what Jeremy and somebody here is with Cardinals. Is that you, Karen, who loves the Cardinals? You are ready to venture on your new path. You have the courage to follow your ideals forward. I love this. So it's all about continuing the journey, moving forward. They're passionate about this location. The spirits there know that. They know that they take good care of the place. The spirits may not always like the music, different genres of music that come there, but I got the Knight of Wands. I got the Nine of Pentacles. It's independent. It's financially stable. Um, they're doing very well. And the next card is the Ten of Pentacles. So just sitting on the bridge, looking over everything that is that they have put money into there. And something I forgot to mention, and I'll do it when Allyson comes back, is that this activity started up. The activity actually started up more once they started doing renovations, when the guys took hold of it. So a lot of this activity, when they started remodeling, renovating. And so usually we know what happens when places do that. It disrupts the energy. It catches, if spirits are still there that may not be happy about it, or they want to voice their opinion about it. So renovations to buildings can sometimes do that. But I got good cards, just very positive cards. So, but yeah, beautiful financial stability. It's growing. It's succeeding. Their passion. They know they're passionate about keeping the restoration going, keeping the beauty of the architecture in the area going. The building's well loved by these current owners.
Yes.
And it looks like it's going to hopefully continue forward. They'll do their best. So
there's a life force there. The building is alive. I think a lot of buildings are. It's energy, obviously, in the history, but there's been a lot of there's bad too, but there's been a lot of good, happy times that people have experienced there. Three of Cups. They're always working on, different owners, whatever, always working on keeping it going. There's been a lot of failure there, right? In terms of like keeping a business going. But the hidden influence is always just to keep on keeping on, right? The King of Wands is not a quitter. The advice, the Emperor, right? The boss in charge, taking leadership, making things happen, always putting on a strong face, that kind of thing. Again, we're talking about the energy, the outcome, the Hierophant. You can't kill this. The energy is survival, right? It's bigger than, it's protected. I just got that. It's protected. There is some protection there that's in place until it's no longer, right? This doesn't necessarily mean for forever, but it is watched over. And it came out with a card with it behind it, which I'm going to call it a clarifier, is the balance, right? There's some sort of, yeah. And then I'm going to, yeah, I got the Four of Pentacles. This is a holding on. You're not going to relinquish. You're not going to let go. And again, with the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Yes, it's very well loved. It's protected. There's a holding on energetically, I'm going to say, not to be sappy. But yeah. Yep.
All righty.
Very nice.
Well, do you still want to do a collective for everybody?
Sure.
You want to sit with me while I do that? My mama Ziva came to say hello this time. She's like, I want to be fed. I want more food. Mommy, come feed me. But Daddy's going to have to feed you. Okay? There you go. All righty. Collected for everybody for the weekend. Oh, let's see. What deck? Let's use the...
So I pulled from my horror oracle for everybody because it's Halloween time. And I pulled it's called Combination. So for those of you that don't know, this is a deck that I got recently just for fun. It's all horror movie themed, old movies up until some more recent ones. The key word on this is combination. And looking at the picture on this, yeah, this is from The Fly. I saw The Fly. I actually loved The Fly. As much as I hate flies, there's not much I hate more than a damn housefly. I cannot stand flies. They're so
I would rather deal with a housefly than with a bed bug.
Well, yeah, just flies are just, they're so disgusting. Yeah. So, okay, combination.
Hi, Miss Tarot D. Welcome back.
So the way that these cards read is so funny. This is the main message. It says, in our closest relationships, we can sometimes take on each other's habits and quirks, even start to resemble each other without realizing it. This can be for better or for worse. Some take comfort in feeling inseparable in the ultimate union. Others find it a little creepy. And then there's a little quote for each one. Most people would give anything to be turned into something else. And then the upright message is, because I pulled these upright, is we help each other be human. And this is from The Fly, directed by David Cronenberg, 1986 is when that film came out. Can you believe that? Oh my God.
Jeff Goldblum was a hottie in that movie.
What?
In the remake of The Fly, Jeff Goldblum was a hottie.
Oh, I didn't know there was a remake.
Yep, it came out in the 80s, Jeff Goldblum. He's still good.
No, this was 86. Oh, right, because The Fly was an old movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah, I'm talking about the 1986. The guy with the black hair that played The Fly?
Yeah, that was Jeff Goldblum.
You think he was hot?
Oh, oh, come on. He was.
No, I'm just asking. Is that what you mean, him?
Yeah. And he still looks good at his age too. I wish he wouldn't do this.
He's very unusual looking, but I often like that. I'm not.
And he's a pianist. People don't realize he's an actual classical pianist. He's a beautiful musician. He plays really well too. So, sorry.
A lot of guys do stay good looking.
Yeah, I mean,
they get better looking.
I mean, I liked The Fly until he started like puking on people and dissolving people and
right
stuff.
By the end, it was so awful. It was funny.
And another fun little fact from the 80s, and Tom, you can mark your little bingo board off, is that he was in a movie called Good Vibes or Strange Vibes with Cyndi Lauper. It was a comedy.
Strange Vibes, I think.
Or Strange Vibes. And it was funny because she was supposed to be a psychic.
I never saw it, but I think I know what you're talking about. I could be wrong.
It was funny, but it was like it was a great cheesy 80s movie. So she says, I like hot nerds. Okay. I didn't see him in that one. Oh my God, I so old that when I first saw The Fly, it was still a larva. Oh my God, Miss Taro D. Oh, love you, Miss Taro D. And let's see. Ange said for the collective, she pulled all 3 8s. Life path number, awesome. 8 of Swords, Pentacles, and Cups. Get out of your heads, focus on what you want to create, and walk away from anything holding you back from creating. I like that. Thanks, Ange. And for me, yes, he was also in Earth Girls Are Easy. I didn't see it, but yeah, she had like that.
Oh, that rings a bell. I didn't see that either.
He was really good when he replaced Vincent D'Onofrio in Law and Order Criminal Intent. I really liked him when he took over.
If anybody would like a horror oracle card before we close out, just let me know. And we didn't talk about what we did this week.
Okay.
And I just wanted to comment that my son is officially going steady, which is not something that kids do these days.
Yep.
Commonly, not in college. But when they do, and he's had a lot of what I would call girlfriends, but that's not what they're called, and that's not what it is. But anyways, he's been seeing this girl for about 3 months now, I guess. And he just did what they do, at least at his school, and it's called, you present her. You can do it either way, but usually the guy does it to the girl, presents them with what's called a boo box, like your boo, but it's a boo box, and you're basically asking them to be your boo, right? And so you give them a box full of all kinds of stuff that they're gonna like, and you're pretty sure the girl's gonna say yes, right? When you give her this boo box. And so anyways, and she knew he was going to be doing it, but didn't know when. Anyways, he presented her with the boo box night before last. And anyway, so they're officially an item, and which means, people know and whatever, which like if you're from my era, like with Heather and I, you just went steady. That was just your partner or whatever, but they don't really do it like that now. So now, and it's kind of like really saying something when that this is your boo, right? Or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever. So they are officially an item. And it's super cute. And she's gorgeous. And they get along really well, and they're very compatible, and it's very hot and blah, blah, whatever, which I'm glad. I want that for him. I think it's huge. I think it's super important.
Yeah.
I want him to be loved and have a good time and it to be reciprocal and all that. I think it's gorgeous. Good young love it's good.
It's rare.
You're supposed to have that. And, and if it lasts 2 months, whatever. If it lasts 3 years, great. You know, it's all part of our life, right? So I've got some really good memories from around that time, different, you know, relationships that I was in and stuff. And you learn from all of it. But anyways, I'm very happy. And I just thought it was really sweet. And oh, and I got a new car this week, finally.
Yes.
Finally broke down and got myself a new Subaru Crosstrek. Been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because I love my old car. But anyways, and that was about it. That was my week. So
Miss Taro D, Tom, if you're still here, why haven't you been giving me a boo box? And Ange is like, I want a damn boo box. I want a boo box too.
He got her the cutest, and a lot of it's Halloweeny, right? She's a Scorpio too, by the way, which is super cool. And she really likes Halloween and all that kind of stuff. And the boo has nothing to do with Halloween. It's just kind of funny because it's this time of year and it's a boo. But anyways, he got her these really cute slippers that are like all Halloween. So cute. And he got her a really cute little stuffed animal. I thought it was like a little demon with like a little brain sticking out. You know, all the Halloween stuff, it's a brain, but it actually was like a little witch with a cauldron. It's bubbles, like her little cauldron. So cute. And he got her, I mean, they're in college, right? He got her a bottle of liquor, and he got her a bunch of stuff. He got her like a little fleece throw and like a bunch of cuddly stuff. He got her some candy, cookies.
Wow. All that for a box.
I'm thinking of the picture and because he sent me a picture of it, and he bought a little crate. Oh, and he took stickers. And he like decoupaged like her name on it, and he really spent some time on it. It was very cute. So I know, me too. I'd like one too.
So Miss Taro D would like from you a horror card.
Oh, yeah.
And for my collective for the week, I got the death card. So everybody this weekend, enjoy Halloween, enjoy, you know, the festivities, but also know it's going to be a good weekend for transformation. Some of y'all might be getting a little nostalgic, maybe getting a boo box, who knows. I got the Page of Swords. The harpy came back up again, and the harpies are all about being fierce, having a passion, being fierce, and going forward with what you want in your life. Ignore, I got the 5 of Swords. Ignore any, you know, any trying to avoid the negative thoughts. Avoid any negativity, especially everything going around in the world, in our country, in our personal lives. Try to not let that get you down and enjoy your weekend. And for fun, I pull from the my Tarot of the Haunted House, and I got the 5 of Pentacles, which is if you see big spiders coming running at you, you can just run inside. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you see spiders coming at you. So for fun, I just thought I would share that with everybody. So there you go. There's your horror card for me. I thought that was kind of cute.
Okay. Ms. Tarot D, I pulled book from the Horror Oracle. And again, the key word is not the movie. This is actually from a movie from 2014 called Babadook. I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
Haven't heard of that. So this is the artwork, and this is what it says. Books are portals that can take us to other worlds and let us inhabit the consciousness of the characters found in their pages. But does the door open both ways? What or whom might we let in? Made manifest, a bad idea cannot be destroyed or denied. It will pop up again. But nothing can be changed until it is faced. Upright message. What can you read between the lines? And then the little quote that's on here says, you'll see him if you look. So again, this is from the Babadook movie. Never heard of it. Directed by Jennifer Kent from 2014. So that's what I got. Anybody else want one?
Yes. Ange would love one. And
Okay.
for fun, I pulled one from the horror tarot, not the horror, the haunted house tarot. And Miss Tarot D, I pulled the tower. So next time you're having a bad hair moment, fighting with the wigs, try not to, lose your shit too much. It's not the end of the world with the tower, everything falling around you. Just know that hey, next time it's going to be a better wig. I'm trying to be fun. I'm trying to be funny. I hope that but when you're having a bad hair day, the wigs aren't fitting right, clothes aren't, fitting right or going on properly. Just don't have a tower moment and just, have fun with it. So, Ange, do you want one? Oh, go ahead.
All right. And I pulled this. It says illness. I don't think that's what it actually is going to be. I don't know. I haven't read this one before, but this is from the movie Cujo, right? There's the doggy. This is illness. And this is what the card says. An illness or other life disruption can be restricting, making us feel confined by limitations it has imposed. Being in its grip can also drive out of character behavioral changes. It is important to keep compassion for ourselves and others who may be struggling, but it's also vital to protect ourselves from harmful situations that are beyond our control. And the upright message that goes along with this is prioritize your own needs in difficult times. And the little quote at the top on this one is, who let the monster out of my closet? Question mark. And again, this is from the movie Cujo, directed by Louis Teague. That was 1983.
Very cool. Good night, Fatima. Thank you, my dear. And Ange said that
Good night, Fatima.
Pick one from the house, Tarot of the Haunted House. And we've got Raven running away, walking away from the cup. She's searching for that missing cup. What is your missing cup, Ange? And is it over there in your castle up on the hill? So it's about walking away and in search of that cup. And what is that cup? And what's in that cup? What kind of spirits would you like to put into that cup? But yeah, that's for you walking away, leaving what no longer serves you, and in search for maybe your holy grail, actually. And just kind of, when you do find that cup, making sure that you fill that cup with what, lost Allyson, with what you, what is healthy for you, what makes you happy, what brings you joy. And like the old saying, is a cup half full or half empty? It's always half full. And if it's missing, go find a whole brand new one on your own and make it what you want in it. And so there she is. She's back. So that
Sorry, I had to minimize to look at something and then it acts all weird.
So was anybody else? Okay, wait a minute. Ange said, actually, that illness card is very relevant. Thank you.
Awesome.
So maybe that cup card that that missing cup might be, some sip, some honey and tea, drinking, plenty of water, hydrate, especially when we're not feeling well.
It doesn't really mean illness, though. Is she sick?
Night, Carolyn. I don't know. I'm just saying in that case, she says it's, it resonates. Well, it's relevant. So the illness card. So, I don't know. And Gypsy JJ came in. Hello. And it was so funny. Miss Tarot D said when I was joking about the wig, she said, "Oh my God, Heather, I'm working on a new wig, 1940s Victorian curly style." And I remember the picture, victory style, curl style. So there you go. If you get frustrated with that wig, trying to get it on, don't have a tower moment. Nah, not that kind of physical illness. Okay. But go find your cup, girl. Would anybody else like a card from the
Yeah, before we wrap it up, anybody else find a horror oracle? I think these are hilarious. I mean, there's also messages there, but I just think it's funny how they use the old scary movies. Well, I guess some of them are more recent, but most of them are pretty old.
So Aisha Sharif would like one. And messages is just pulling a card for fun, Aisha. These are no like, personal
Does she want a horror oracle or no?
It's a horror oracle, Aisha. So that's what
It's just an
Allison's
horror.
Yeah. This is just for fun. And for fun, I'll pull one too from the Tarot of the Haunted House. She said, okay. Ooh, the devil. So, Aisha, for me, I'm pulling from the Tarot of the Haunted House. And for fun, you got the devil. So, this might be a little tongue-in-cheek, but with the devil, it's all about not allowing your addictions or things that hold you bondage, to let them go, to face them, to face your demons. And in this card, Raven is actually the devil herself, and she is standing over two individuals that are chained, that they can easily get out of those neck braces, the chains around their neck. And so, for being a little tongue-in-cheek, this could be, do you enjoy bondage? If so, have fun responsibly. But again, too, it's all about, I'm having fun, Allison. So again, with the devil, too, taking control of those demons, not letting them get to you, and knowing that whatever holds you back in a negative manner, you have the power to set them free. And that's what I have for you. What you got, Allison?
I was just laughing because I was thinking about something and not really listening to you, and then I heard you say that. I was like, "What is she talking about?" Aisha, I pulled the same card for you that I pulled from Ms. Tarot D book. So if you were still, I'm sure you just heard it, but I'll read it again. I'll just read a little bit more quickly. From the movie The Babadook. Books are portals that can take us to other worlds and let us inhabit the unconsciousness of the characters found in their pages. But does the door open both ways? What or whom might we let in? Made manifest, a bad idea cannot be destroyed or denied. It will pop up again, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And the upright message is, what can you read between the lines?
Ooh.
You'll see him if you look, is the quote from here. And again, this is from a 2014 movie directed by Jennifer Kent, The Babadook.
And Miss Tarot D said, Allison, I found the movie to the card. And she put a link in the chat.
Oh, nice.
But she'll send it later. And Christina would like to have a monster card, a horror
oracle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Christina Cawley.
Yep. And Christina, I pulled one for you, and I got Temperance. So Temperance. How do I want to? So watch what you share. You know how us girls like to get together and we drink. Boy, drinking is coming up tonight. So if you go to a bar, you start drinking, or you start drinking with the girlfriends, just kind of watch, what you share. It's like, what was that movie? Waiting to Exhale. So for me with the horror, maybe sharing horror stories with maybe past dates, past boyfriends, people, that you might have, had run-ins in when you were younger, or, fun things like in high school. I'm trying to have fun with this, but watching, what you drink, watching the spirits that you're having. And but if you're with a friend, just have a good old time, share those stories, have that fun, that nostalgia. And that's what I have for you for fun, Christina.
So, Christina, I pulled the card Forbidden.
Ooh.
This is for the Candyman movie, directed by Bernard Rose in 1992.
Hi, Bobby.
And this is the message on here. It says, the truth of a matter does not depend on our belief in it or whether we take it seriously. Some of the harshest outcomes in a situation may be. Let me start over. The truth of a matter does not depend on our belief in it or whether we take it seriously. Some of the harshest outcomes in a situation may come for those who approach it dismissively. It can be tempting to keep a cognitive distance, especially from horrible circumstances, but we may do so at our own peril. The upright message is proceed with caution.
Ooh.
The artwork on these is crazy. That's what I got for you.
Alrighty. Nobody has asked for another one. Bobby did pop in to say hello, though. I don't know. Hi,
Bobby.
Jerry is. Hello, beautiful Miss Tarot D. Oh, maybe JJ. Now they're talking about chocolate martinis. Oh, you changed your channel. Wait a minute. Oh, you did. It's not Robert Fierro Tarot anymore. It's Bobby Fierro.
Might as well if he always goes by Bobby.
Yeah. And Miss Tarot D said, by the way, Karen, chocolate martinis were the favorite drink of Rock Hudson and Liz Taylor when they would have sleepovers together. Oh. Let's see. So so before we end, Allison's just pulling cards for fun from her horror oracle. Bobby, would you like one? You just popped in. I've just been having fun pulling from the tarot of the haunted house and trying to put a funny little spin on it. And Christina says, I'm getting really good cards lately. I just had a birthday. So happy belated birthday, Christina. Happy birthday. So lots of parties. So the drinking and the partying and everything. Yep. Sounds good. And our friend Christina, she's down under and she's starting to go into spring. So I hope you are enjoying your beautiful spring weather. And I don't see anybody else asking for a card. So any fun plans for the weekend? You and Anthony?
We're doing a shop. We're not a shopping spree. We're doing all the Sam's Club, blah, blah, blah stuff. I'm not sure what all we're doing. I don't know. Definitely doing some shopping. What's that?
Gonna make boo boxes for each other?
We're a little beyond that.
Oh, that would be so cute, wouldn't it? With your crafting? Oh my God.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if I can show. Actually, I can't show you guys. He got me a beautiful quilted coverlet for my bed. It's got a big candy skull on it. It's so beautiful. There's no way for me to show it. It's gorgeous. I just got it tonight. I'm so happy. It's beautiful. Oh yeah, that's true. Heather's got a picture of it. I sent her a picture of it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not.
Skulls, but oh my God, I was just like,
it's so pretty.
He really knows Allyson, and this is
I love it.
Absolutely,
he's the best.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
He's the bestest.
Look at that, everybody! Isn't that?
Can't really. I mean, yeah, I guess you can kind of tell. It's so pretty, you guys. It's very it's all, the whole thing's quilted and it's very nice quality and it's super pretty. It's on the bed behind me, but you can't really see it. And if I hold it up, it's just gonna, plus I don't want to mess it up. So, but yeah, I'm really happy.
Yes, Bobby says, I love that.
It is. It's beautiful. I'm going to be home tonight. I'm going to sleep under it. So,
and I love it.
Thank you. It is. It's gorgeous. It's very jewel tones. That's what I'm going to say. It's very jewel tones.
And I bet you Scout's going to want to sleep with you on it too.
What's that?
Scout. Or is he not allowed on the bed? Him and Lulu.
No, they used to, but Anthony has a hard time with the dog hair, so I don't have the dogs in the bedroom anymore. I mean, once in a while, I'll let them come in for a few minutes, but generally speaking, it's just the bedroom. They have full roam of everywhere else. He can't sleep here and deal with dog hair on stuff. He can't. He's
got an allergy.
He does. It's not crazy the way a lot of people's are, but it's bad enough, and I don't want him affected by that. He deals with enough pain with his back and everything else. He doesn't have to struggle to breathe when he's here. So,
and yes, Ramon would love that too. I'll have to ask Allyson permission if I can send that to Ramon.
Yeah.
He will. Ramon's like, I
need to take a better picture of it. It's a decent picture, but it's a lot prettier than the it doesn't matter. It's gorgeous. Yeah, I love it. I'm very happy. I was totally surprised too. I had no.
Yeah, he's a keeper. And Allyson's so crafty. I could see her doing like a little tiny boo box for Anthony. Come on.
Oh, I just did a blanket for him last week. Actually, it's not true. I did I have quilters, but I did a fleece, but I did a whole it was part of the home or housewarming for him. And I did a blanket stitched edge around the whole thing, and you stitch in your intentions as you're stitching it, and I made a patch for it, and there's a little message on it, and yeah.
And I almost forgot I was going to share this with Allyson backstage, because back in the day I was good at crocheting and I wanted to share it. I might as well share with everybody.
Aww.
I made that.
Very nice.
So I got to get back into crocheting once I get settled into
anything like that is so rewarding, especially when you're done with it and then you have this beautiful thing that you made.
So
I made the mistake, not it's a mistake, but I always made them for people, and it's like, and then I didn't. It's like you have to make stuff for yourself as well, not just gifts.
Yeah. So I have to start all over again to learn how to crochet, because I completely forgotten how to do it. But I'll have time.
It only takes, crochet is not difficult.
It's
time consuming.
Yes. I'm still seeing Heather as Maman Bridget, the voodoo goddess. Oh, with the hat. Oh, yeah. It's hard to see. It's supposed to be my Stevie hat, but there's a beautiful pattern on it and this lace and the little, but because my hair is dark and stuff, you really can't see it. But I like to wear it every now and then. So
I got to get going.
All right, everybody.
Somebody's needing out. I don't know which one it is.
Alrighty, everybody. We will see you on our next show. Take care. Thank you again. It was a lot of fun, and have a great weekend. Bye.
Have a good weekend, everybody.